everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca Louise of Rebecca Louise Knits, and today in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my experience of going to Wonder Wool Yarn Show in Wales, which was just last weekend, and I'm going to show you what I got, which of course is the most exciting part because I got a lot. I got a lot of things and they were all really lovely and all really different. And I will get into that, and I'm going to talk about what I liked about the show, what I thought of the show, and my overall experience. But first of all, I'm going to show you a few clips of me getting ready for the day and the drive up there, because 2.5 hours in a car is not a small feat, and that's going and coming back. And I was very generously provided that lift by my amazing friend who offered to drive us, and I'm very, very grateful, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to go, because it was a little out of the way, so by car was definitely the best option. But yeah, I'm going to show you getting ready and then I'll get into what I liked about the show. Morning everyone, the time is currently 5:59. Let's get ready to go to Wonder Wool in Wales. Okay, I've done my skincare and now I'm going to finish getting dressed. Now I'm going to do my makeup and my hair. Then I'm wearing these earrings that I made. This is with the leftover Let Lopey yarn that I had in the colourway Milky Way. And then finally I'm wearing the short staple beanie by New Wave Knitting, and of course I'm wearing my framed by Drea Renee Knits. If I can get this the way that I want to. It's cute. And then I will be wearing these boots with the rest of the outfit. Now I'm gonna go and have some breakfast. So after I had breakfast, I headed straight out and I went to my local Costa because I needed a chai. It was so early in the morning, and that is where I met my friend, and then we got in the car and we started the 2.5-hour journey to the middle of Wales. And as you can see in the car, I was working on my whip that I took with me. These are just going to be some wrist warmers. I'm using the yarn I had left over from the scrunchie bag. These beautiful yarns by Ching Fibre. And of course, I did not work on this at the show. I don't know why I take something with me. It's just, I shouldn't bother, because I'm just carrying it around with me as I shop, and it's very silly. But we did arrive in good time to the Royal Showgrounds, and it was a beautiful day and the showgrounds were gorgeous. So as you saw there, we were on our way up and I thought I'd get a little bit of footage of me in the car, and I did work on the whip a little bit in the car, but it's the same time every time, you know. I'll take a whip with me and I'll get a few rows in when we like have a minute where we sit down, and it never happens. I do not touch whatever I take to work with me when I'm at a show. I should stop taking it with me, it's just dead weight. Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately didn't get many rounds in on the little sort of wrist warmer that I'm making with the leftover yarn from the scrunchie bag. But it was a long drive, but it went incredibly smoothly, I must admit. And then of course we'd arrived, and this was at the Royal Showgrounds in, and I apologise if I'm not pronouncing this correctly, Bliff Wells. Please let me know if I'm saying it wrong, and yeah, I apologise if I am saying it wrong though. So yeah, this was Wales, and it was absolutely beautiful. I must admit, all the landscape and everything, and there were trees everywhere, and the Royal Showground was absolutely beautiful. It was just greenery absolutely all around us, and it was so refreshing even just walking back into the car, quite honestly, because the air was really clean, and we had a really beautiful day for the show as well, which is always an added bonus. So we arrived and we were on time for the opening, but my gosh, the queue was so incredibly long. And not that I minded, you know, we'd prepared to be on our feet all day, so I think it's not the worst thing if you've got to stand in a queue. And of course it gives us time to get our tickets loaded on our phones and all things like that, and there was signs, absolutely everything for everything that you needed, which was absolutely great. And the queue moved pretty quickly, and then we were in. And oh my gosh, had I underestimated the size of this show. I hadn't really done a lot of research initially. I mean, I'd looked on the website and I'd seen who was exhibiting and all things like that, but I don't think I really knew the scale until I was actually in front of it and it was before me, which, again, totally fine. I do yarn shows all the time. I know what I'm doing. I went in with a plan and I executed that plan. Did not go as crazy as I could have. I went a little crazy. I'm just off a yarn ban. I'm allowed to go a little bit crazy. Anyway, so yeah, certainly had a lot of fun looking at what was all to offer, and much more fibre related right from the off really when we started. And it wasn't long before I made a purchase, because of course we always say when we do a yarn show, me and my friends that are going from like my yarn group and everything, we're like, we'll do an initial round, then we'll buy on the second one. That never happens. It's like a lie that we just constantly tell ourselves. So I bought on the first round, and I think it was like the 5th stall we'd come across, and I did say one of my rules was I wasn't actually going to buy any fibre, because I'm sort of at a point with my spinning where I need to sort of move stuff on before I continue to spin more, just because like this still hasn't been removed from the niddy noddy, so so yeah. So initially it was laid out very, very well, I will say, for a show. Everything felt really organised, and if you plan to go next year, I'd totally say do it, because it seems like they've just got it really down. I know they've been doing it for a few years now, and yeah, the show felt really, really together. Everything you needed was sort of just there. They had so many seatings around like each and every hall that they had, and then it was just really easy to navigate yourself around, which with a show I think is absolutely essential. I'll say it every time when I go to one, is I want to know where the seating options are, and I want to know where the bathrooms are, so that I'm just like never lost, because it's never a good feeling, and you want to have a good time. You don't want to be thinking about like panicking or something if you can't do something that you need to do it. So I was very, very happy with how organised it was, and I just want to say like a really big thank you to all the organisers, because I'd emailed prior to the event on such late notice. It was literally the day before, and I was like, am I okay to film? Would that be okay? And not only were they like yes, but they were like, please let us know when it goes out. So of course I'll be sending this link to quite a few people who asked for it, which felt amazing actually. Everyone was so open to me to filming. Of course I asked permission to every single stall that I came across, and like there was never a no. It was just like, yeah, sure, go on, like, and stuff like that. And people inquired about why I was filming, and it was just a really lovely experience for me, because I'd never done like filming publicly like that before, not properly. And so it was just absolute brilliant day as far as like the working side of it was concerned, and I had a really lovely time talking to a lot of vendors. And I think with like having the camera and having to film, it encouraged me to talk a bit more than I probably would have. Of course, like I'd ask about yarns and stuff like that if I needed to, or inquire about something on the store that I liked, but this sort of pulled me in a bit more in the way of people were asking me questions like, oh, why are you filming, what's it going to be for, and all things like that. So it sort of made me talk about my YouTube channel and trying to do more content and things like that, which was actually really, really lovely. Yeah. So I think I will get on to what I've bought now. Stop going on about me and talk about yarn, because I do have some really special things to show you. I'm trying to catch the light. So this is, obviously it is braid. Like I said, I wasn't going to buy fibre, but they only had one of them, and so I was like, I don't want to leave it here, it's too pretty. So impulsive buy right off the start. This is by the Shepherd's Hut, From Fleece to Fabric. And this braid is called Fairy Wings, and it's a blended top of 81% merino, 16% silk, and 3%, is it stellina? And I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I don't know why, but the show around, I was kind of loving all the glitter. And I don't know why, but I was really, really drawn to it. I'm trying to see if you can. There we go. So it has this beautiful little specks, and it's gorgeous, and white, grey and purple. It's just very ethereal and very beautiful. Okay, so next up I have a stole that I absolutely loved. It was so aesthetically pleasing, and I did chat to the vendor a little bit, and she was absolutely lovely. And it's actually going to be my vendor spotlight for this video, because it was absolutely charming, and I was hoping to see the stall because I'd seen it on the website, and so I was like, oh, this one I really want to see, because she has absolutely beautiful aesthetic, the way that she dyes. Like, I sort of love it. So here's a little business card, and this is, the stall is Nellie and Eve, and it's all plant dyed yarns, British and locally sourced wool, and hand dyed on a mountain in Wales. And I just fell in love with this absolutely gorgeous colourway. And I didn't buy it right away because we saw this stall quite early on, and I didn't buy it right away. But I did go back for it because I just thought it was absolutely beautiful, and it sort of didn't leave my head. And I think when you, like, if you are buying and one just stays in your head for an entire show, it's like, that's the one you want to take home. So I was like, I went back and I got it. And so this is Dale's 50/50. It is British wool. It's a 4-ply fingering in the quantity of 100 grams at 450 meters. We love, and it is made up of fibre of 50% BFL, that's Blueface Leicester, and 50% Marsham, and I love it. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. It's the only one I don't really have a plan for, funnily enough, because I'm getting really good at sort of spotting at quantity and how much everything is, and I'm like, what could I make with this if I buy so many, sort of thing. And I did only get the one, but I thought 450, I'm sure to make something out of the meterage that I have on it. But looking at it when I got home, I was thinking that I think this would be absolutely gorgeous in brioche. Maybe even held with like a mohair of something. Yes. So that's my vendor spotlight. She was absolutely lovely, and it was my favourite stall to look at in the way that she had everything displayed. It was very, very clean, and I like that because it's like I can just focus in, if that makes sense, and I can see. Not that other people's stalls weren't absolutely beautiful, they absolutely were. It's just that one really stood out for me at this particular show, and yeah, absolutely love it. So that is my vendor spotlight for this video. Please go and check out their website if you're interested in this sort of natural dyed colours and all things like that, because they are really, really beautiful, and they're right up my street, so I couldn't resist. Okay, so on to the rest. Right, now I don't know if I'm going to have this in any particular order, but I do know what some of it is for. So I'll start off with this, Along Vec Anna's, and this is the silk mohair in Podre, and it's this really, really lovely sort of beige under pink toned, and I'm thinking of holding it, it's too high up, okay, bear with, because I do want to show you what I'm going to be holding it with. So I bought some Erica Knight's pure tweed, and I really was looking for a mohair to hold with it for what I'm going to swatch for. And yeah, I definitely think I went with the right colour, this sort of beige to grey with an undertone of pink, because the pure tweed, the particular one that I have, has quite a bit more red than any other colour. So I knew it had sort of like, it's going to have sort of a red to pinkish glow, and so I did want a mohair that sort of would accompany that well. And I saw this and I thought, oh my god, it was an excellent price at £6.50. I was like, it's coming home with me, because I knew it would work really, really well with that. And so yeah, love along avec Anna. We've seen her at quite a few shows, and she's always really lovely. So check that out. They have a shop, I think, down in, it's somewhere down south, but the website's really good. Okay, what else? Okay, let's get all the mohair out of the way. Just found a bit of glitter. Okay, this is, let's see if I can get the right bit. Cumulus by Fibre Spates, and it's in this gorgeous, my camera's not doing it justice, it's coming out so much more blue. It's actually more like a green. Its colour is mint, but it's coming out like sort of like a really light blue. It's actually a lot more sort of green toned. I apologise. But yes, I saw these again, brilliant price, and I thought they were really cute and beautiful. And I want more greens in my stash, and I just thought these were really pretty. And then after I bought them, I thought they'd make a gorgeous, there's that fluffy mohair hat by, is it Spectrate? I'm gonna have to check, but I thought like just held on its own would be totally beautiful and all like fluffy, because it does have a slight halo, which is really nice. Okay, next up I have, well, I'll do this one. This is another fun sort of one. This is by the Chester Wool Co, and its name is Type 59106. This is Neo Fluff Fingering yarn, and as you can see, it does have a few little neon specks. So it's actually, it's 400 meters at 100 grams. It's made up of Mike Merino wool, superfine alpaca, neo neb, which is of course all the colour specs, and then 8% of linen. And I thought it was really unusual, and I'm loving all of these sort of like, where it's just got a blend of so many things in it. It feels incredibly lightweight just holding it. And so I think it'd make a really lovely, maybe like summer crochet piece, maybe a top. I mean, I know 400 meters might not go a super long way, but I'm wondering if maybe if I did it cropped and then sort of like a mesh design, would I get away with the meterage? I don't know. There's a lot there. It's very, very fun. I spotted it and I thought, why not? Let's try out something different, something that I'd never normally go for either, especially as like sort of like a base yarn, because I wouldn't really hold it with anything. I think it's fine on its own. But yeah, so I was really glad that I went for something a little bit different, because I will be honest, I tend to stick to a lot of similar things. And I said going into the show, I was like, this is my plan. I want to get some sort of fluffy yarns, stuff that I can hold with other things. And then I'm looking at fibres that I've never bought before, as in either a brand or a sheep type or whatever type. Because I think I love merino yarn, but I think there's a thing where we all sort of go towards it. And I knew that there was going to be different types of breeds on offer at this show in the way of fibre, because it's a lot more south than I've gone before, and it was a whole different area on the market really as regards to sort of Welsh breeds and the Welsh sheep side of things. So I knew I was going to be getting a different taste, and I thought I'm going to totally take advantage of that instead of just buying what I usually would, because it might be my one chance to see it up close. And so yeah, really, really excited about that because it actually worked. I saw so many brands that I've only seen online, which was actually quite a bit of surprise. I didn't think, like for instance on one stall I actually saw Le Bien Amaze, and like I've only ever seen it online through Europe, obviously with their base in Paris, and or like on their website. So that was like a surprise and like stuff like that. And then on another stall, I came across something which was really exciting because I'd actually been thinking about buying from this brand because I know a shop that I have online that does carry it. And then there it was on this beautiful stand called, I do have their name somewhere. This was on the Bumblebees of Land Rover. There's a little card. And I got from them, it's Juniper Moon Farms, and then she said it Patagonia, and this is the DK base. It is organic merino. I just said that about merino and I'm saying this. But I hadn't seen this brand before, and then when I was speaking to the lady on the stall, she said it just knits up like an absolute dream, and so I was like, okay. And I got two, and I decided to get them in two different colours. This one is the green. It's called Seafoam. It's this lovely green sage shade of, it's a lovely shade of green, sort of like a sage, and then mallow in the pink, which is, I just thought was absolutely beautiful. And I decided I'm not going to get colours that I usually get, which, let's face it, is purple. I'm going to get something different, and I did. But yeah, really, really happy with this. It's at 100 grams, it's 350 meters each, and it is absolutely 100% wool, which of course would be merino. But like I said, I was always looking at different brands. That was like a bad example. But I am looking at different brands, and it was, like I said, seeing something up close and personal just is so different than viewing it online, especially when it comes to colour lots, as we all know. So beautiful those. I do have a plan for them. I'm thinking something striped, maybe a shawl or a scarf. I think it would be absolutely beautiful, but with like quite an edgy design. I'm thinking of how I'd like to plan it out in the way of dimensions and like how wide I'd like it to go as a shawl and things like that. So I've been thinking, playing around in my head, thinking about, sorry if that made a noise. There we go. Okay, next up is, I'm not going to say this right, Garfner Organic, and in the colour Priscilla, and I got two. These are in the colourway Blazer. They are 75% Polworth and 25% Hebridean. And yes, it says that it is a 4-ply to fingering weight, but I don't know if you'd actually, I don't know if that could have, I think it's in between. Maybe it might be more of a sport. And they're 200 meters each, so I got 400 in total with buying the two. And again, lovely stall. I loved how all of her tags had labels like this, and it says what does it say? It says yarn loop. So like once you have it into a ball, you could loop it through here and it'll keep, I'm like, how obliging is this to makers and stuff with like yarn. And this was an absolutely lovely stall. She had these amazing signs that my friend pointed out to me when we were looking at all the different yarns that she had. She had these scales on each of the sections of all the different yarns that she carries, and it had like rustic to super soft, and then on the scale it showed where that section of yarn and where it sat on the scale. So these were in super soft, which I was really excited about because it's like I've never tried a fibre like this before, or that I've known of, and so it made me really excited. And it says here like organic Polworth, Romany and Hebridean wool, and it got me very excited about how these different fibres will work up, how they've been spun, what makes them different to other types of wool fibre that I've used. I had the best time on Saturday at this show, thinking about where I could go with my stash, what I could add to my stash, and it was just this complete overall abundance. It really, really was. And we're not done yet. I know. So a stall that quite honestly was one of the most beautiful things I saw on Saturday was the camel's yarn. And even this skein gives you an idea of how beautifully laid out it was. And they've got these beautiful tags with the cloth front, and then this card at the back has all the details that you need. This is striped Venus in the base comfort fingering, which is a 4-ply. It's 70% alpaca, 20% silk and 10% cashmere, and it's a non-superwash at 400 meters in 100 grams. And I thought it was gorgeous, and I thought, why not? And I think it's going to make a beautiful pair of lace socks one day, potentially, or maybe something laced in a shawl, because it feels like heaven. It's so unbelievably soft, and I'm seeing so much more of these sort of multi-blends where you've got a lot thrown in, and it gives a really, really lovely structure to the yarn. Like, I can even see here, this ply is absolutely gorgeous, and then the colour on top of that, it really sings, I must admit. And that is all of the yarn that I bought, and yeah, absolutely loved the variety was there. Like I said, it was a really big show, and I didn't exactly cater for that, but I think I did walk away with everything I wanted to walk away with, if that makes sense. I don't have any regrets about what I bought, and I don't have any regrets about stuff that I really left behind as such. It's more that I was really happy with how I did the show and the rules that I made going into it, and I did stick to them to a certain extent. Also, there's a great stall called Knitting for Fun at all the shows that I go to. If anyone else in the UK goes to shows, they probably are there, which is great because it's just all like Knit Pro needles, and I got myself some J'adore cubics, and they're absolutely gorgeous, and like this lovely deep purple colour, and I got a wire to go with them. So yeah, that's basically it of what I bought. I'm going to throw in a few clips of just generally when I looked around some stalls at the end, other than what obviously the ones that I bought, and I'll show you some just general show footage. It was absolutely lovely as a day. I think it's one of the best shows I've ever been to, and I've been to a few, so that really says something.
We also got to watch the sheep walk, which is a catwalk where people volunteer to model some of the things that certain vendors are selling on their stalls, and my friend volunteered to model, which was just great fun. We also got to see the Britain at War exhibit, which is a knit and crochet exhibit picturing the scenes from, of course, World War II. And it's absolutely lovely to see our art and our craft in this sort of platform. This is like touring around the world, around the country, which I think is really cool. Then just wanted to show off some stalls that I thought were good. This person had put goggly eyes on their hanks, which I just absolutely loved. It was so cute, and they had lovely colours. And of course, there were some sheep in, I think, one of the halls, and yeah, they were just absolutely adorable, and it's lovely to see the sheep close up. This was a really great thing that I spotted, which was gift a ball, and the ball is all wound up, and then as you work on it, little gifts come out as you go along, which I thought was really cute. They had some lovely stalls that were a little different, like this one was just completely buttons. This was a stall that had completely undyed yarn, and I thought that bouquet was gorgeous. This was Lottie Knits, one of my favourites. I see her at a lot of shows, and she has such gorgeous colours.
So that's everything about the show itself. I wanted to do a little bit about sort of, I guess, what I learned, and what I've learned doing a lot of shows is just pass on that knowledge. You know, if you're thinking of going to one, if you haven't before, pack light. You're literally going to buy weight when you go. So I recommend take like a tote or a bag to put all of your stuff in that you buy. That's if you are buying, it's entirely up to you. And then what I would say is like a light bag, because that's what I did this time around, and it's I think it's the second time I used like a super light bag, because of course I had my camera with me and I knew that was going to be heavy, and so I was already at a disadvantage when it came to sort of walking around. Of course, being on my feet like the entire time, it was a case of I'm going to pack super light so that I'm not already carrying a lot of weight, because I knew I was planning to buy on Saturday, so I was like, I know I'm going to have a lot to carry with me. And yeah, luckily, of course, like my friend had driven, so we'd come in a car, so we could put our bags and stuff down in there, which made that really easy to do. Sort of the second half is the way that we played it out. And yeah, what I'd say is rest when you need to. It's so important to rest at these shows, and of course, like, take drinks with you, water, whatever it is you need to stay hydrated. And yeah, it's just like, look after yourself, really. I wanted to include this in as a little bit of advice, because I'm really starting to feel like I really know what I'm doing now. I have a plan, execute the plan. But I just, like, for anyone out there thinking about going to a show who may have stumbled across my video, just give yourself what you need. So like, if that's snacks or like hydration or whatever that is, and remember to eat something during the day. There's always food at these shows, but of course you can bring your own as well. And yeah, the whole point is to have fun, so just do everything you need to do so you can concentrate on the shopping and the full experience of going to a show, talking to these vendors who I think may be the best people on earth, because they are so lovely. I had so many lovely chats with people at this show. Everyone was so welcoming and so lovely, and it makes the whole experience better because you feel so welcomed and everyone is so approachable, and it is just absolutely joyous, because not everything in this world is that nice, so it's lovely to experience it. Quite frankly, yes, everyone should go to yarn shows. They're lovely. So that's it from me. That is it from this incredibly long video that was only supposed to be 20 minutes. I do apologise. If you made it to the end, then you also deserve to go to a yarn show, because this is quite a feat. But thank you so much. I hope I haven't gone on too much. I hope you liked what I've bought. I certainly do. If you were at Wonderwall on Saturday or Sunday of last week, please let me know. I'd love to know what your experience was. And if you go to yarn shows, I'd love to hear the experiences that you've had as well. And if you've never been, I hope this encourages you to take the leap, because they really are absolutely wonderful. I'm Rebecca Louise, of Rebecca Louise Knits, and you've been watching my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching my yarn show video. Have a lovely week, and I will see you next time.